In this video, I'm going to be explaining to you the details of exactly why I'm going to be investing a very large amount in one particular cryptocurrency and holding it for the next 2 to 3 years. No, this isn't a joke, and if you think my past predictions have been wrong, let's take a look at some of my past predictions. So on December the 20th, 2022 at 6:30, I said the next Bitcoin, no, this isn't a joke, I've referenced this post before, and you can see right here that I said I noticed a particular trend. So I identified 3 coins that you probably should be looking at and that you probably should be buying, and on my top 3 out of the top 5, you can see the current prices. Let's take a look at the first one, which is Singularity, and let's look at the price when I made this pick. So you can see right here on the December the 20th, when I actually made this prediction, the price of the coin was 4 cents. Now the price of the coin is hovering around 40 cents. So for anyone that was on my Patreon, that's a simple 10x. And for anyone who bought the coin like I did, that was an easy 10x, and the coin can still definitely go further from here. Let's take a look at just some of the others. I also talked about BitTensor, which is a very different kind of coin, but let's take a look at the price. You can see that on the 20th of December, it was 20 cents. And then of course, right now it's around 50 cents. Of course, I advise people to sell it around this area, which would have been a 4 to 5x. There was also another coin called Fetch.ai that I also made on December the 20th in 2022. And you can see the price of this coin was 8 cents when I actually called it. And you can see right now the price is 36 cents and actually reached a high of 40 cents. So there was a clear increase in certain prediction of coins. The point I'm actually trying to make here is that I don't always make predictions. Those of you who are in my group, you know that I don't make rash predictions all the time. I only make predictions from time to time, but when I do have those predictions, I tend to go all in, resulting in much bigger gains than trading daily. So before I talk about exactly which coin I'm about to go all in on, let's take a look at where the market trends are heading again. So if we go on Google Trends, you'll know that there has been a recent trend of artificial intelligence. Now, this is not something that has just come about. This has been a worldwide trend for the past, I guess you could say, couple of months. And if you haven't been paying attention, essentially there are a huge rise of AI programs and AI apps such as ChatGPT and many different programs that are going to take off in the future. Now, why is this the case and why is this a big deal and why is this not a fad? Now, you have to remember, we need to make predictions that are very accurate and we can't make those predictions that are doomed to fail. For example, the metaverse was one key thing that failed and it was hailed as this big next thing. There were huge crypto coins that pumped up about it, but it actually did fail. And we need to make sure we don't make this mistake where we're investing in things that we think are going to be a hype, but ultimately fail, just like the metaverse did. So why is artificial intelligence, and if we look at this kind of industry, much different than any other one? So in 2016, the World Economic Forum, which is essentially a very, very big organization that has pretty much the world's most powerful people in there, talked about the 4th Industrial Revolution. Now, if you don't know what an industrial revolution is, it's essentially a big thing that happens and changes the entire world as we know it. 3 have happened before, and the 4th one is about to happen right now. Now, essentially, every time there's an industrial revolution, people get rich. This is how billionaires are made due to them making businesses during that time. You can see right here, we have 1784, 1870, and 1969. And of course, as you know, the most recent was electronics, IT, and automated production, which of course changed the world because you're likely watching this on a smartphone or a computer. So in the 4th one, which is the new one, the new industrial revolution, they are calling for artificial intelligence. Now remember, they predicted this in 2016. So it's fair to say that these people know exactly what they're talking about. And if you're familiar with the work of the Economic Forum, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that these guys are pretty much good at predicting the future. You can see right here, it says artificial intelligence is all around us, from self-driving cars to drones to virtual assistants and software that can translate or invest. And remember, this was in 2016. And where we are now is completely different. You can even see that with the rise of ChatGPT, it only took 2 months, which is literally the fastest software social media platform ever to gain that many users. And you can see that this is insanely faster than anything we've ever seen before. And even Bill Gates, which is someone who made millions and billions through Microsoft, has said that the age of AI has begun. And he's even published this short paper where he talks about how this is literally going to change the world. So let's take a look at the coin. The coin that I'm talking about is Render Token. Now, at first you might be like, okay, this is just an 80 rank 88 coin. Why is this coin going to be good? I'm going to break down exactly all the key reasons as to why I'm going all in on this coin and exactly why I do believe this coin is going to be a pretty much 100x with calculations, with math, so that you know it's not just an arbitrary number. And I'm going to be explaining to you why this coin could potentially be an 100x based on some numbers that are going to be calculated based on the previous bull market, the future bull market, and the price of the coin. And it's going to use the data that we currently have provided. So now that we have the token, one of the first things that we need to understand is, of course, is the technicals. Now, essentially, technical analysis is just pretty much how you predict where a coin is going to go. In cryptocurrency, it's something that is very, very good at predicting how a coin goes based on the price action, and the technicals are very, very paramount to a coin's success because without it, you might not understand where a coin is going to go. So what are the technicals for Render Token talking about, and how can we use these to predict the price of the coin, and why do I believe it will go up? So firstly, if we go on the all-time graph for Render Token, you can see that in the past bull market, Render Token reached a price hike of around $7.4. And And you can see that this was in 2021. So the price was around $7, okay? And remember, this was during an era where the entire bull market was centered around the metaverse and centered around dog coins. Now remember, the metaverse had barely any working products, and these coins were shooting up 50x, 20x, 30x. Remember, zero working products, dog coins shooting up tremendous amounts. Additionally to this, in the bear market, coins all decline, and in the bull market, all altcoins do go up, even if they aren't part of that major bull market. So for example, if you take any coin that wasn't really an insane coin at the time and you go look at the graph, you'll see that if you scroll back to example for 2021, you'll see that the price of this coin increased substantially because the entire market rises with the price of Bitcoin. Now, if you're watching this video, I don't think it's too late. I'm not telling you should invest, but personally now, I don't think it's too late because right now we aren't at the peak of the bull market and we haven't really entered that phase where altcoins are going to pop off yet. That is going to come later 2023/2024 and even more in 2025, which means that looking at the technicals, we can see here that Render is going to at least surpass its previous high. And I say that based on the fact that not only is this coin now entering an age of AI where it's going to be needed, but based on the technicals you can see right here, this is a symmetrical triangle and this price of this coin is likely to break to the upside, which is going to result in a significant move upwards. Now, this can either happen for two reasons. Either the coin is going to break out on its own, or Bitcoin is going to continue on its trajectory upwards and we're going to get a nice move up. So that's just one reason. Now let's take a look at some of the others. Now, if you don't know what this token is and why it's going to be used worldwide when the AI landscape is continually going to evolve, let's take a look at exactly what this does. So the Render token essentially distributes GPU rendering on the blockchain. So think about it like this. When your computer's rendering something or wants to load something that's really difficult to render, essentially this is where this program comes in. Now this is needed because there are huge companies that are trying to render many different things that AI is required to. If we take a look at this article, it says compute power is becoming a bottleneck for developing AI. Here's how you clear it. So everybody knows what ChatGPT is, but let's take a look further down. You can see that GPT-3, okay, uses GPUs. And you can see right here that it says processing power is becoming a major barrier limiting how an advanced AI can become better. Now remember, it says hardware has already become a bottleneck for AI, okay? And it says using processors running in parallel is the most common solution to speed things up, but it has its limitations, okay? And we're going to talk about exactly why that is and exactly how the Render token can improve this. So if you think about it like this, we've got all these large language models like ChatGPT and many other ones that are there that require GPUs to render stuff. But the problem is that they can't do it all the time. Here's where Render token comes in. So essentially what this render network does, and essentially why this is really cool, is think about it like this. Let's say you have a computer with a pretty powerful GPU or just a standard GPU and you don't want to run anything at the moment. You can essentially loan out your GPU to have other people render this stuff. And this is where you have someone who doesn't use their computer render stuff where people might want to use their computer. Now, of course, with the age of AI, this demand is going to increase tenfold, maybe 10x fold, maybe 100-fold. It's definitely going to be a large increase, which is why this service is going to be in much more demand. So essentially all you'd need to do is connect your graphics card to the render network, then essentially you just receive money for completing certain jobs in the Render token. It's essentially kind of like a form of passive income for letting someone use your GPU. Now remember, the demand for GPU rendering is going to increase substantially. Now this article does help to explain the narrative, but it says the Render token and its Apple integration, the resulting in the 300% rally, and we all do know that 300% rally hasn't even materialized into exactly what this token is, and there's still a lot more. Now, of course, you can see right here, it talks about the Apple integration. Now, of course, one of the more popular products, OTOY, which is essentially Octane Render. This is the fastest renderer ever, and I'm someone know because I used to use it for many different CGI products when I did work on projects related to that. But essentially, the reason this is so good is because Octane Render has actually transitioned to being placed on Apple devices such as the M1 and M2 pads. And essentially what Octane X does, it allows users to access Render token's decentralized grid of GPU units, which means that if every device is going to be having a program which can actually utilize the Render token, this is going to be a pretty insane integration that is going to be there in the future. And I have to understand also that there is also some other research which has been done. For example, if you take the CEO, you can see that the CEO is actually hanging out with Elon Musk, and they actually network quite a lot. You can see right here that in the chat, he actually says and states that, does Elon know about our Lord and Savior's Render token? And he says, Elon introduced me to Carmack, for which I shall be forever grateful. He emailed me about Render maybe 4 years ago, and he says, once we have Render content working on the LFL panels, I'll ping him. So you can see that this is someone who's networking with the top minds in the industry. And this means that in the future, there's definitely going to be no shady stuff where the CEO just randomly disappears and rug pulls like those random other coins. So now let's take a look at exactly what the price of the render token could be when we have the bull market back again. So let's take a mid bull market pick, and I'm not going to pick the height of the bull market because there were some economical factors which resulted in a higher price, such as money printing. Let's take the 20th of December 2021 when the price was around, $50,000. In fact, the 26th of December. Let's go back in time and take a look at what the top 10 cryptos were. So let's look at the historical prices here. You can see the Bitcoin is nearly at $1 trillion market cap. Of course, we got Ethereum sitting at nearly $500 million. And remember, these are some of the coins, and of course, we've got Dogecoin and Shiba Inu here on insane gains. Now, what we need to look at, okay, is let's say it becomes a top 15 cryptocurrency, okay? What is the market cap going to be? So let's say, for example, it becomes, in fact, let's just say top 10, okay? That is a $30 billion market cap. Now, let's compare that to where it is right now. The market cap right here is 500 million, okay? And if it does become a top 10 cryptocurrency or top 15, the market cap will be somewhere around $30 billion. So what does that look like in terms of a calculation? Using ChatGPT for my calculations, you can see that the percentage change is going to be around 5,950%. Now, this is conservative based on the estimates that we do have. It definitely could be much larger. Remember, I tried to do this conservatively. Now, remember, starting with the price of $1.32, which is render token right now, a 5,950% increase from the $1.32 price would be approximately $79.86. So essentially from $1 to $80, which could be called an 80x, or conservatively called a 60x. Now, this is a conservative prediction based on the next bull market, which is certainly going to happen, and we do know what kind of narratives are going to be floating around. Now, even if it doesn't get a top 10 and it doesn't completely go insane, I think it will, and based on the estimate alone, I think a 10x is without a doubt. So with that being said, I know everyone is different. I'm not telling you to invest in this coin because, of course, you need to do your own research and you need to look at many different factors that could range from your technical analysis to reading the white paper to doing tons of different research. But me personally, I've just decided that this is the one coin I've chosen for the next bull market. And if things do change, I'll be sure to update you.